Good morning everyone. Basa tayo natin KJB Bible guys. Daily reading plan. Today is July 7, 2022, day 248. Konti na lang. Tapos na tayo ng 1 year pagbasa. Ezekiel chapter 28 up to 31. Ezekiel chapter 28 up to 31. Basa. Ezekiel chapter 28. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, Thus saith the Lord God, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding thou hast gotten the riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By the great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of God. Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile the brightness. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths. Ulit guys, verse 8. They shall bring thee down to the pit, and thou shalt die the deaths of them that are slain in the midst of the seas. Wilt thou yet say before him that slayeth thee, I am God? But thou shalt be a man and no God in the hand of him that slayeth thee. Thou shalt die the dates of the uncircumcised by the hand of strangers, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord God. Verse 11. Moreover the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God, thou sealest up the sum full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was thy covering, the sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold, the workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created. Verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God, thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day. Magbasa rin kayo ng King James Bible nyo guys, para tayo matuto sa Word of God. Verse 15, Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 15, Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee. By the multitude of thy merchandise they have filled the midst of thee with violence, and thou hast sinned. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty, thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground, I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuaries by the multitude of thine iniquities, by the iniquity of thy traffic. Therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee, it shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. All they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more. Again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Sidon, and prophesy against it, and say, Thus saith the Lord God. Behold, I am against thee, Sidon, and I will be glorified in the midst of thee, and they shall know that I am the Lord when I shall have executed judgment in her, and shall be sanctified in her. For I will send into her pestilence, and blood into her street, and the wounded shall be judged in the midst of her by the sword upon her on every side, and they shall know that I am the Lord. And there shall be no more a pricking briar unto the house of Israel, nor any grieving thorn of all that are round about them that despise them, and they shall know that I am the Lord God. Verse 25, Thus saith the Lord God, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them, in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in their land that I have given to my servant Jacob. And they shall dwell safely therein, and shall build houses and plant vineyards. Yea, they shall dwell with confidence when I have executed judgments upon all those that despise the run about them, and they shall know that I am the Lord their God. Ezekiel chapter 29, in the 10th year, in the 10th month, in the 12th day. Pag mabilis masyado, basa na lang din kayo ng Bible, guys, para masundan nyo ako. Ezekiel chapter 29, in the 10th year, in the 10th month, in the 12th day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. Speak and say, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I am against thee, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon, that lieth in the midst of his rivers, which hath said, My river is mine own, and I have made it for myself. But it will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of the rivers to stick unto this. Ulitin natin yung Ezekiel chapter 29 verse 4, guys. But I will put hooks in thy jaws, and I will cause the fish of thy rivers to stick unto thy scales, and I will bring thee up out of the midst of thy rivers, and all the fish of thy rivers shall stick unto thy scales. And I will leave thee thrown into the wilderness, thee and all the fish of thy rivers. Thou shalt fall upon the open fields. Thou shalt not be brought together nor gathered. I have given thee for meat to the beasts of the field and to the fowls of the heaven. And all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am the Lord, because they have been a staff of reed to house of Israel. When they took hold of thee by the hand, thou didst break and rend all their shoulders, and when they leaned upon thee, thou breakest and madest all their loins to be at stand. Therefore thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I will bring a sword upon thee, and cut off man and beast out of thee. And the land of Egypt shall be desolate and waste, and they shall know that I am the Lord, because he hath said, The river is mine, and I have made it. Behold, therefore I am against thee, and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate, from the tower of Zion even unto the border of Ethiopia. Verse 11, No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years. And I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities among the cities that are laid waste shall be desolate 40 years. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and I will disperse them through the countries. Oh. Pero asensado ang Egypt ngayon, guys, diba? Verse 13. Sa panahon natin ngayon, ano kaya ang Egypt? Napakaganda. Nung araw kasi ito. Yet thus saith the Lord God, and the end of 40 years will gather the Egyptians from the people whither they were scattered. And I will bring again the captivity of Egypt, and will cause them to return into the land of Patros, into the land of their habitation, and they shall be their base kingdom. It shall be the basest of the kingdoms, neither shall it exalt itself any more above the nations, for I will diminish them that they shall no more rule over the nations, and it shall be no more the confidence of the house of Israel, which bringeth their iniquity to remembrance, when they shall look after them, but they shall know that I am the Lord God. And it came to pass in the 27th year, in the first month, in the first day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, caused his army to serve a great service against Tyrus. Every head was made bald, and every shoulder was balded. Had he no wages, nor his army for Tyrus, for the service that he had served against it. Therefore said the Lord God, Behold, I will give the land of Egypt unto Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon, and he shall take her multitude, and take her spoil, and take her prey, and it shall be the wages of his army. I have given him the land of Egypt for his labor, wherewith he served against it, because they wrought for me, said the Lord God. In that day will I cause the horn, last verse ng Ezekiel chapter 29, guys. Ezekiel chapter 29, verse 21. In that day will I cause the horn of the house of Israel to bud forth, and I will give thee the opening of the mouth in the midst of them, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 30. The word of the Lord came again unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord God, how ye will work the day. For the day is near, even the day of the Lord is near. A cloudy day, it shall be the time of the heathen. And the word shall come upon Egypt, and great pain shall be in Ethiopia, when the slain shall fall in Egypt, and they shall take away her multitude, and her foundation shall be broken down. Ethiopia and Libya and Lydia and all the mingled people and Chub and the men of the land that is in league shall fall. Maliliit kasi guys, oh. Okay, ulit sa verse 5. Ethiopia and Libya and Lydia and all the mingled people and Chub and the men of the land that is in league shall fall with them by the sword. Thus saith the Lord, they also that uphold Egypt shall fall, and the pride of her power shall come down from the tower of Zion, shall they fall in it by the sword, saith the Lord God. And they shall be desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and her cities shall be in the midst of the cities that are wasted. And they shall know that I am the Lord when I have set a fire in Egypt. Hala. Ulitin mo yung verse 8. And they shall know that I am the Lord when I have set a fire in Egypt, and when all her helpers shall be destroyed. And that they shall messengers go forth from me in ships, to make the careless Egyptian afraid, and great pain shall come upon them, as in the day of Egypt, for lo, it cometh. Thus saith the Lord God, I will also make the multitude of Egypt to cease by the hand of Nebuchadrezzar, king of Babylon. He and his people with him, the terrible of the nations, shall be brought to destroy the land, and they shall draw their swords against Egypt, and fill the land with the slain. Katakot man ay. Verse 12. And I will make the rivers dry, and sell the land into the hand of the wicked, and I will make the land waste, and all that is therein by the hand of strangers. I, the Lord, have spoken it. Thus said the Lord God, I will also destroy the idols, and I will cause their images to cease out of Nook, and there shall be no more a prince of the land of Egypt, and I will put a fear in the land of Egypt. And I will make Patros desolate, and I will set fire in Zoan, and will execute judgment in No. And I will pour my fury upon Sin, the strength of Egypt, and I will cut off the multitude of No. And I will set fire in Egypt. Sin shall have great great pain, and no shall be rent asunder, and no shall have distresses daily. The young man of Evan of Pebaseth shall fall by the sword, and the city shall go into captivity. At the Hapnihes pala guys. Okay, verse 18. At the Hapnihes also the day shall be darkened, when I shall break there the yokes of Egypt and the pump. Puro man parosa to eh. And at the Hapnihes also the day shall be darkened, when I shall break there the yokes of Egypt, and the pomp of her strength shall cease in her. As for her, a cloud shall cover her, and her daughters shall go into captivity. Thus will execute judgment in Egypt, and they shall know that I am the Lord. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the first month, in the 7th year, day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and lo, it shall not be bound. So, panahon pa to ni Pharaoh, guys. Okay, verse 21. Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and lo, it shall not be bound up, to be held, to put a roller, to bind it, to make it strong, to hold the sword. Therefore, thus said the Lord God, Behold, I am against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and will break his arms, the strong and that which was broken, and I will cause the sword to fall out of his hand. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and will disperse them through the countries. And I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and put my sword in his hand, but I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of a deadly wounded man. Verse 25. But I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh shall fall down, and he shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall put my sword into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall stretch it out upon the land of Egypt. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations, and disperse them among the countries, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Okay, hanggang saan ba tayo? Hanggang 31 tayo, guys. Ezekiel chapter 31. Basa. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the first day of the month, that the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Sa panahon natin, guys, sino ang prophet? Kasi panahon pa to ni Pharaoh, si Ezekiel ang laging inaanuhan, sinasabihan. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 31. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the 3rd month, in the first day of the month, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and to his multitude, Whom art thou like in the greatness? Behold, the Assyrian was a cedar in Lebanon, with fair branches, and with a shadowing shroud, and of an high stature, and his top was among the thick boughs. The waters made him great, the deep set him up on high, with her rivers running round about his plants, and sent out her little rivers unto all the trees of the field. Therefore his height was exalted above all the trees of the field, and his boughs were multiplied, and his branches became long because of the multitude of waters when he shot forth. All the fowls of heaven made their nests in his boughs, and under his branches did all the beasts of the field bring forth their young, and under his shadow dwelt all great nations. Thus was the heifer in his greatness, and the length of his branches, for his root was by great waters. The cedars in the garden of God could not hide him. The fir trees were not like his boughs, and the chestnut trees were not like his branches, nor any tree in the garden of God was like unto him in his beauty. I have made him fair by the multitude of his branches, so that all the trees of Eden that were in the garden of God envied him. Therefore said the Lord God, because thou hast lifted up thyself in height, and hast shut up his top among the thick boughs, and his heart is lifted up in his height, I have therefore delivered him into the hand of the mighty one of the heathen. He shall surely deal with him. I have driven him out of his wickedness. And strangers, the terrible of the nations, have cut him off, and have lifted him upon the mountains, and in all the valleys and branches are fallen, and his bows are broken by all the rivers of the land, and all the people of the earth are gone down from his shadow, have lifted him. Round his shadow, and have lifted him. Verse 13, upon his throne shall all the fowls of the heaven remain, and all the beasts of the field shall be upon his branches, to the end that none of all the trees by the waters exalt themselves for their height, neither shoot up their top among the thick boughs, neither their trees stand up in their height. All that drink water, for they are all delivered unto death, to the nether parts of the earth, in the midst of the children of men, when them that go down to the pit. Thus saith the Lord God, in the day when he went down to the grave, I caused a mourning, I covered the deep. For him, I covered the deep for him, and I restrained the floods thereof, and the great waters were stayed. And I caused Lebanon to mourn for him, and all the trees of the field fainted for him. Verse 16, I made the nations to shake at the sound of his fall, when I cast him down to hell, with them that descend into the pit, and all the trees of Eden, the choice and best of Lebanon, all that drink water, shall be comforted in the nether parts of the earth. Basta earth guys, kasali tayo. Pero hindi tayo nababanggit dito. They also went down into hell with him unto them that be slain with the sword, and they that were his arm that dwelt under his shadow in the midst of the heathen, to whom, verse 18 guys, last verse na to whom art thou thus like in glory and in greatness among the trees of Eden? Ye shall thou be brought down with trees of Eden unto the nether parts of the earth. Thou shalt lie in the midst of the uncircumcised with them that be slain by the sword. This is Pharaoh and all his multitude, said the Lord God. Naglolo ko na yung ilong natin. Bye everyone. God bless.